Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. In these unprecedented and turbulent times, we hope that you and your loved ones are staying safe, sane, and healthy. My name is Aziz El Hashim, and I'm the program manager for Plug and Play Morocco. With me are my dear colleagues, Sarina Amini, our operations manager, and Alberto Anton, our ventures analyst. Together, we'll guide you through our session today. Welcome to Plug and Play Morocco launch event. We are very excited for this event as we'll be kicking off a very promising partnership that will impact the development of Smart City Bangarir. The OCP Group, notably through a prestigious academic and research institution, Mohammed VI Polytechnic University, also known as UM6P, partnered with global innovation platform Plug and Play to launch an open innovation hub in Morocco. We are not only keen to support the innovation activities throughout this partnership, but we also want to see the Moroccan innovation ecosystem blossom to its full potential. Well, let's take a look at today's agenda. We'll be kicking off with a small introduction of who we are and what we do, then a moderated discussion between the three partners, UM6P, OCP, and Plug and Play, followed by the success story of Plug and Play Abu Dhabi's partnership with the UAE government, and finally, a peek into Startup Autobahn, our mobility innovation platform in partnership with Daimler and Porsche in Stuttgart. This will be the first of a series of virtual events, as Plug and Play Morocco is set to kick off its physical program in January out of Stargate, North Africa's largest startup facility, located on UM6P's campus in Benguerir, Morocco. Our goal with this series of virtual events is to prepare the whole Moroccan ecosystem with the right package to scale as soon as we begin the physical program at Stargate. We would like to bring together the private and public sectors, local and international stakeholders, to fuel open innovation dialogues and leave you with exciting new ideas and trend updates for your own initiatives. We hope you will leave today's session with an aha moment of having seen and heard something new and exciting. We're looking forward to having everyone at Startgate, but until then, let's enjoy our virtual get-togethers. We'll now move on to tell you a bit more about Plug and Play, as well as our plans for Morocco. If I may start from the very beginning, back in the 90s, the Plug and Play story started out of a very lucky building in Palo Alto, California, where our founder and CEO, Saeed Hamidi, decided to rent out office space to small businesses where he would reinvest the rent back into the company in exchange for equity. The first startup happened to be Google, followed by Logitech, and then PayPal. Great, no? This huge success pushed Saeed to scale this model. So in 2006, he bought a building in Sunnyvale, California, to host startups and international corporations from all around the world. They were looking for a soft landing and access to the unique resources and energy that Silicon Valley has to offer. Before the pandemic era, we had around 300 startups and 100 corporations in the building at any given time. So, what is Plug and Play, if you may ask? For those of you who do not know what Plug and Play is, let me quickly give you an idea of who we are and what we do. We are an open innovation platform built on a very strong ecosystem of innovators. The PNP ecosystem consists of more than 30,000 startups, more than 400 major corporations, and about 180 venture capital firms. We also engage universities and their young founders, a large network of very experienced mentors, foundations, as well as governments on our platform. We do all that across then 35 global locations and across 19 selected industry focus areas. In coming to Morocco, our focus will be centered around helping partners work with startups in the execution of their innovation strategies. Think of us as a mediator. We want to help talented African startups grow to become global companies that will help drive the African economy and create jobs. This is also a call to action to ensure we don't let innovation and entrepreneurship die in the wake of the unprecedented pandemic we find ourselves in. Whatever stakeholder you identify yourself on screen, you all have a role to play, and we would like to play a part in bringing innovation stakeholders together for the betterment of Morocco and the African continent. In our core platform offering are three major services. First, we are investors ourselves, mostly in early stage startups with more than 200 investments per year. We are one of the most active VCs worldwide. Also, we run industry-specific startup acceleration programs twice a year, which are mainly focused on real business exposure and scaling opportunities for startups. Lastly, Corporate innovation is about supercharging the innovation initiatives of our partners. We help large corporations set up their innovation journeys and help them find the best startups to develop and scale new fields of business. Starting with our venture capital offering, Plug and Play has been investing in early stage startups for over 20 years annually. Annually, we invest in more than 200 technology companies worldwide alongside our VC partners. Our key value proposition in the venture capital segment is being global investors for startups that have global ambitions. We have an appetite for risk, a desire to believe in entrepreneurs who are taking a risk on themselves. Looking at a snapshot of our global investment portfolio, we currently have over 1,000 active investments. Almost a dozen have grown to become unicorns, exceeding $1 billion valuation. Our newest unicorn is Applyboard, an edtech startup that raised $75 million in Series C funding at an astonishing $1.4 billion valuation. In Africa, Plug and Play is currently invested in Flutterwave, Helium Health as a group, and Healthlane, amongst others. We hope that our projects in Morocco will be a springboard to invest further in African technologies that can be just successful locally as they can be globally. Our accelerator programs are fine-tuned for startup business development. Startups are at the very heart of our innovation model. Here, our key value proposition is geared towards assisting B2B startups to work with corporates in the pilot of their product offerings. It also aims to assist startups in connecting with investors and seasoned industry mentors willing to give up their time. Uniquely, our model does not require startups to give up equity, as it ensures corporate startup stakeholder alignment. The value proposition for the startup is that we are giving them a global avenue to generate revenue and gain broader market exposure. And last but not least, corporate innovation is focused on finding and implementing technologies that address corporate innovation needs. For Africa in particular, our value proposition is to provide a service offering that will help corporates learn how to work best with startups. Without the support and participation of corporates, startups cannot survive. We are thus not only inviting corporations to benefit from these technologies, but asking that they be leaders in ensuring a thriving ecosystem for the betterment of the entire community. Here is a snapshot of our international corporate network operating in different industries across the globe. Our expertise extends to 5 continents and rests on our solid partnerships with innovative corporations. Finally, our platform combines 19 verticals that touch upon major economic sectors such as mobility, real estate, health, energy, and sustainability, all of which are very relevant to the Moroccan ecosystem and its areas of improvement. Now that you know us better, let's talk about our partnership with UM6P and OCP. My colleague Sarina will be handling the panel moderation between the 3 partners. I leave you in great hands.
Thank you, Aziz, and hello, everyone. My name is Sarina Amini, and I will be moderating the panel discussion today. We will be hearing from industry thought leaders. The topics will be the history of each institution, as well as the mission and vision for our partnership. Without any further ado, let's present our panelists for today. Our first panelist is the president of the Mohammed VI Polytechnic University, Hicham El Habti, a graduate from École Polytechnique and Pont et Chaussée in France. He started his career at Ernst & Young, then joined OCP Group in 2013 after managing Moroccan small and medium companies for 7 years. He first held the position of project leader to the general manager of OCP. He was then later appointed as director of management and control and business steering, before being appointed Deputy Secretary General. Today, he is also the president of Mohammed VI Polytechnic University in Ben Guerir. Hello, Hicham, and thank you for being here with us today. Our second panelist is a graduate from University of Arkansas. He started his career in 2006 as data analyst at Axicom Corp. Then joined JP Hunt Transport as data architect. A while after, he became IT project manager at Walmart Stores headquarters in Bentonville in Arkansas. In 2014, he was appointed as head of the digital communication and e-reputation unit at OCP. 2 years ago, he joined the special cross-functional team in charge of promoting entrepreneurship and innovation within the organization. Today, he works alongside startups, accelerators, VCs to continue bringing value to the Moroccan and African ecosystem. Please welcome Yasin Rahmi, the Digital Program Lead at the OCP Group. And last but not least, Omid Mehrinfar, our Managing Director and Co-Head of the MEA regions at Plug and Play Tech Center. Omid is the Managing Director at Plug and Play's activity across Europe, Middle East, and Africa, based out of Paris. He joined in 2014 as one of Plug and Play's first 50 team members. He now oversees team strategy, product development, key clients, acceleration, and adversarial operations across 16 offices in 9 countries. He also sits on the board of Plug and Play. Welcome, Omid. So, dear panelists, please open your cameras and microphone to join us for a moderated discussion. And dear attendees, please submit your questions through the Q&A box. We will take a few questions at the end of the panel discussion. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Thank you for being here, all 3 of you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good to see everyone. How's everyone doing?
Fine. How are you, Ami?
Hello.
Fantastic, fantastic. It's genuinely, to say the least, an interesting year, but I'm very confident in terms of to see how our team members have kind of worked around the confinements, the travel restrictions, to really help build out and continue the progress for innovation and empowerment. So it's unique times.
Exactly. Tough times and unique times.
Yeah, it is very unique. Should we start?
Yes, let's go.
Yeah.
To it.
So my first question is for Mr. Al-Habti, President. Please tell us a little bit more about the ambitious plan for Mohammed VI Polytechnic University in Ben Guerir and where you stand in realizing those ambitions.
Thank you for the question. Hi, everyone. I'm very glad to be with you this afternoon. So the university was inaugurated by the King in January 2017. So we are less than 4 years old, so very young university, but with very high ambition. So when the inauguration took place, the plan for M6P is to host about 6,000 students by 2025. And now, as per today, we have more than 2,000 students. We have more than 100 faculty, and we are on the path of achieving this goal. One description, very short description for the University Mohammed VI Polytechnic is the following. Is a research-oriented university. It's a top-down university, so that's why we started with PhD, doctoral programs, and after that we developed Master of Science, and after that the undergrad. The second thing is we are more in the entrepreneurship and innovation spirit, and this for all our students, for our PhD students, it's a part for their curriculum and their stay with us. And for us, entrepreneur is not just have or create a startup, is a mindset. It's how to think out of the box. It's how to take initiative, and all what we are doing is how to spread this spirit between and among our students and PhDs and even our faculty. So for us in the development path of the university, we are on time, and at some point we are beyond what the expectations, and it's great for us.
Thank you. So as you said, the whole project is about taking initiative, and we want to help students, and we want to help entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs to take their initiatives.
Exactly.
Yeah. Do you have anything else?
Yeah, exactly. About that, even for our faculty, we encourage them to invest. To develop lots of patents, and we are helping them investing in their own startup. So, and even for the revenue share, we worked on that to just enhance and foster more and more innovation. For our students, as I said, in their curriculum and with all the initiative we are launching within the university, the aim behind that is to give them the opportunity to express themselves and to develop new ideas. We are here just not to have lectures. We are here to have impact, and the word impact is very important to us. That's why even during their curriculum, they should work for projects for the community. And from that, and we have very good examples from this project for the community, we have many startups moving forward.
Nice. We heard also about the agreement you signed with the province of Rahma. The province to the whole agreement was to open the university towards its region to really have, as you said, an impact on its population.
Exactly. We want the university to be very linked to the community. So we are working very closely with the province Rahamna, with the city of Ben Guerir, and we signed 3 weeks ago a partnership with La Provence. The aim behind this partnership is how to have more impact, direct impact on the province. As you know, thanks to the university, we have an indirect impact on the city, and we did some exchanges with the population, and we got their feedback, and they are very happy to have the university there. But for us, it's not sufficient. We want to be more impactful. We want to have more direct impact on the city. That's why we signed this partnership with the province. And as I said before, for our students, they must do something for the community, and it's a must. They need to have and develop something for the development of the community. And during the COVID crisis, we had a lot of good and great initiatives for the community in Ben Guerir and beyond Ben Guerir. It was for all Morocco.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. So my next question, and it goes with what we just said about creating an ecosystem in Ben Guerir. So OCP, it's for Yassine, the question. So Yassine, OCP is developing many initiatives and many innovative urban planning projects. For example, in Mazagan City. How does OCP envision smart city projects? And more especially, how is Ben Guerir different from your other projects?
Hello, everyone. Glad that you could attend this launching event with us. To answer your question, Serena, I want to first point out that OCP has a long experience in the field of urban planning and developing cities. So it is nothing new, in fact. It started with contributing to the development of the city of Khouribga in 1920, so almost a century ago. Youssoufia in the 30s, and then the Cité OCP here in Ben Guerir in around the 80s. So over the years, OCP has developed experience and several flagship projects like the one you mentioned, Puma in Mazagan City, where there's also the Technopole from El Wadi in Laayoune, and of course the Mohammed VI Green City in Ben Guerir, where I am right now, and in this beautiful face of Stargate behind me. So I invite everyone to come over and join us. So I would say a lot of factors and assets differentiate the city of Ben Guerir, or the Mohammed VI Green City of Ben Guerir. First of all, it is a city around knowledge and innovation because it has the University of Mohammed VI as its heart. That's, I would say, a big plus. The second thing is the city is designed to be a smart city. It has the LEED certification, which is leadership in energy and environmental design. So I would say everything in the city is well designed and thought of to benefit the ecosystem, the residents, but then in a sustainable way. For innovation and I'd say startups, what is great about the city of the Green City of Ben Guerir is it's an open laboratory. So researchers and startup can come in here and test their innovation, which they do every day. So in addition of top of class UM6P facilities, such as the huge fab labs, Green Energy Park, Green Park, Green Building Park, sorry, the Open Mine, and so much more. So it is something unique, I believe, to add the plug and play program in Morocco with an open lab, which is gonna combine theory and practice at the same time. So I believe this is something unique in the world and in Africa as well.
Exactly. It is very unique and it's something we're very excited to do. Thank you, Yassine, for your answer. And it brings me to my next question. And my next question is for Omid. Omid, how can Plug and Play, as the biggest open innovation platform in the world, bring value to Mohammed VI's Green City? In other words, how and what would be the most beneficial ways of bringing open innovation to cities through Plug and Play?
Of course. And before I jump into answering that question, Yassine, I have to say, I am very jealous about the space you're sitting in. It looks gorgeous. I know I should have been there by now quite a few times, but inshallah, once all this stuff passes, I'll definitely make my jump over. But to get back to the question, to stay on topic, so Plug and Play, whenever we build out these ecosystems and work with key stakeholders, such as UM6P, such as OCP, and really supporting and being a resource to draw in and help develop the innovation ecosystem, quote unquote, we look at multiple factors. And what we see is one of the key pillars is number one, coming in with the right partner. And uniquely, similarly to which our teams will talk about more later in Abu Dhabi, we see that in our region of MENA, that the government does play an incredibly pivotal role towards drawing in and really developing the entrepreneurial ecosystem or innovation ecosystem. And in doing so, empowering entrepreneurs, other government sector agencies, but also private sector agencies. And what we really think and what we are hoping to accomplish and what we are confident we will accomplish together with OCP and UM6P during our time in Morocco for a very long time is we'll pull in all the different stakeholders ranging from leaders of industry, but also to leaders of regulation, to even pulling in some international funding to really empower the number one local entrepreneurs is our goal, to give them a line of sight and access to resources from mentorship, funding access, whether it's our funding, UM6P, OCP's funding, or international venture capital funding, but also coaching and mentorship by giving them a line of sight of not what to just expect locally in their domestic market, but internationally, because what we strive for is to have all our entrepreneurs empowered to want to take over the world, not just the local geography. And then there are other factors that attribute to really developing an innovation ecosystem, right? Once you nurture and grow the resource base for engagement with the local scene, then you have to also make yourself a hub that's open for international business. We see it in terms of commercial trade, but we also have to see that same kind of mindset when we look at startups, entrepreneurs. And we do that by way of creating a paradigm of business opportunities, favorable regulation, resource access, or even to things as good as infrastructure. That really draws in the appeal and interest of international entrepreneurs that would look at and already do and will continue to see Morocco as a landing hub for either initially the North African but larger African region, or to the as a scapegoat into the North African MENA region, or both. So pulling in all the different stakeholders, which Aziz, our colleague, demonstrated earlier, and basically to take it out to the educational facilities such as the UM6P that can act as the R&D center to nurture this talent, all the way through the corporations for B2B companies to have available market opportunities, to VC funding, to support entrepreneurs in reaching new funding milestones to expand and grow their business further. And of course, favorable regulation that can empower entrepreneurs rather than disempower them.
Thank you, Omid. It's very inspiring. And as you said, universities have to be the place where we nurture talent, right? And so my next question for Hisham, you are building UM6P as a school of life, a field of experimentation, pushing Morocco at the forefront of innovation. How do you think we can leverage academic research at UM6P to feed open innovation projects such as the alliance with Plug and Play?
Thank you for your question. And you said very very significant words and meanings for us. This is the school of life, and we see ourselves that as a school of life. Even in our pedagogy, we are using what we call the learning by doing, and this is very important to us. So for the students, they should learn on the field. For our researchers, we in addition to the classical laboratories, we developed what we call the living labs, which are the full-scale experimentation labs like the Green Energy Park, the Green and Smart Building Park, the experimental farm, or the experimental mine. And those are full-scale experimentation laboratories that will enable our researchers to express their full potential. So to answer your question, what we do is the first thing is we push the researcher, the faculty, the PhD student to be open-minded, to work very closely with the students, to participate in the different programs we are doing within the university, like the incubation ideation programs. They are playing the role of mentors, of coach. They are doing coaching for the students. So by linking we are pushing them, pulling them from outside their laboratories and connecting them with the students in those experimental and incubation programs. The second thing is they are interested in the valorization of their patent. So if we succeed, and I'm sure that we will do in licensing their patent, they will get some funds from that. So they are interested in the fact that they develop more and more innovation and scale it up or licensing it. The third thing is the UM6P, we consider ourselves like an open platform. So we are just not one family, but we are a platform working with the other platforms, like the other public universities, like the other corporations. So now we are inviting more and more corporations from Morocco, and after that it will be Africa, to come to develop something here within the within the university with the students. And thanks to this connection between the researchers and the industrial field, we have more and more innovation. The last but not least is the research we are doing. As I said in my opening remarks, we are research-oriented university, but I have to specify that we are applied research-oriented university, so that we are working on the questions that are interest for the community, for the country, for the continent, and from that we develop the research. It's not fundamental research, so we are very close to the field to be able to create impact. And with all this recipe, we are pushing our faculty to do more and more innovation.
Thank you. Thank you for this. We were following at Plug and Play your phosphate days, which were really very interesting, and also where you talked about how to apply innovation to industrial problems and to really have applied research, as you said. So thank you for that. My next question, I think we're a bit short on time, but let's just keep it going. Conversation is good, so let's keep it going. So my next question is for Yassine. At UM6P, you work closely with public institutions to develop projects in the region and beyond. So we talked about with the province of Rahma in the region and beyond. In your opinion, how can the public and private sectors work together to allow for innovation to happen? And do you have any specific examples where UM6P and the public entities have been pushing innovation recently?
Yes, I would refer to what Omiz had said in the beginning, which is in our region and in emerging countries and economies, the PPP, the public-private partnerships are very crucial. to get the economy going and also innovation. So for private sector, of course, it is crucial to partner with the government and public entities to develop new markets, to hedge risks, and sometimes to co-operate and co-produce. For the governments and public entities, it is also important to leverage the private sector's knowledge and help the economy be competitive. But at the same time, it helps shape new policies and new laws that would probably pertain to innovation and the new things that happen in the world. So if we take, I think the COVID-19 pandemic is a great example of how successful public-private partnership worked, at least in Morocco. I think we're very proud of the country when what it's done through this PPP, whether it was making respirators, making beds, masks. I think without the, I would say both hands, public and private hands together, we wouldn't be pulled enough. I was just thinking last time that it's a blessing to have energy and have food on grocery stores. It wouldn't be happening without both public and private entities. We're also very proud that GM6P helped in this, and they put all their knowledge and infrastructure at the hand of the government, at the hand of the country to help, which was whether it was opening the digital labs, studio labs to record classes for students who cannot attend schools, whether it was helping in creating the 100% Moroccan respirator, or other means of help, which is opening up some of their platforms like the digital platform for preparatory classes. And you know how important it is, to access high school, access very important schools abroad. Without these kind of help, I would say it would have been, it would take more time than the country doing it by itself. So basically, I would add that this program with Plug and Play is also going through the same way, which is basically helping the entrepreneurship ecosystem in Morocco through this partnership with you guys. And it's just a continuation of what GM6P has been doing in Morocco as far as research and innovation. And it's hopefully another successful story for UM6P.
Yes, it is going to be a very successful story for UM6P. Yes, indeed. And thank you for taking the time to walk with us through this question. We know how important it is for public and private entity to work on the same goal, which is to empower people and to empower entrepreneurs. So my next question is for Omid. Omid, as Managing Director of the Middle East and European regions, and now Africa, you have supported many Plug and Play office and project launches. Can you tell us a little bit more about Plug and Play and a time where Plug and Play assisted the development of a smart city project? What about a time where Plug and Play worked alongside a university?
Of course. I mean, let's take a step back and think about smart cities, right? Smart cities is such an empowering term in the sense that pretty much covers everything, but everything that really connects and harbors and creates a better quality of life for its citizens and for the infrastructure to better communicate and deliver on fundamentals that can create a better life for its citizens. So you can talk about automotive, infrastructure, real estate, waste management. These are all key areas, telecom, that all touch on the overall arching smart cities. So one time that was an incredible successful launch of ours is, of course, our smart cities practice out of Paris. This brought in key stakeholders from each of these key channels or key industries to allow them to work together with the hopes of getting them engaged with local and international companies in and outside of France. To really help them scale on business and partnership opportunities. But also some cases we found was some kind of creation opportunities where different corporations from different industries would start exploring some kind of co-collaboration opportunities, a lot of which are proprietary, but to basically work on a pilot or a commercial opportunity with a startup as a tri-party agreement. And that is an incredible outcome that really helps build this overarching smart city, bringing in the key players. Partners are like Renault, the car manufacturer, to Grosvenor, one of the big real estate developers out of London, to even other automotive players in our Stuttgart program, such as British Petroleum, Mercedes, Porsche, Rolls-Royce, Lufthansa Cargo, and really giving an end-to-end experience in terms of developing and constructing innovation platform for smart cities. I mean, some of our partners are some of the biggest real estate owners and developers in the European region, speaking on Europe because we've been there a bit longer than Africa. And what we've seen is leveraging their not just local footprint, but their international influence. They were really able to scale local companies and get them new business opportunities outside. And we're hoping to see similar things, giving the influence and sphere of access that Plug and Play has, UM6P has, as well as OCP on a global level. And then, of course, when it comes to universities, one of our superstar programs that we always love to share because it's a very visual program is our automotive accelerator out of Stuttgart, Germany. So one of our biggest constituents, one of our biggest stakeholders and backers that brought us into Stuttgart was the University of Stuttgart. They're the ones who really help nurture, develop, and empower our relationships that now have segued across 36 other private sector major corporations, brand names that we all love to drive. And today we have that partnership is probably the most successful automotive transportation related program, I would say, in the world. And we hope to accomplish similar things here in Morocco.
Thank you, Omid. Stuttgart is a very impressive program, and we'll have a little video of the expo to show to our audience a little bit later. So my next question is for Hisham. Hisham, after working at OCP and in other fields such as consulting and finance, you are now the president of a prestigious Moroccan university. What would you say are the challenges of corporations wishing to innovate? And how can we create beneficial synergies between corporate innovation and universities in Morocco?
Yeah, very good question. For me, as you said before joining OCP, I managed small and medium enterprises here in Morocco in different fields. And after joining OCP, I had the chance to work on a program called Le Mouvement, which was an opportunity to spread the innovation within OCP group. And now that I'm heading the university and working with OCP, but OCP as a client, I see the challenges to connect the university to an industrial. The main challenge is the time. For the industrial, they are looking for very short-term impact, but for the researchers, it's a medium and long-term. But with the work we are doing with OCP during the two or three last years, now we are succeeding in connecting the dots between the two, and we want now to share this experience with the other industrials here in Morocco. The corporation need open innovation. They need to be open to the ecosystem and to share the question they are or the challenges they are facing with the outside ecosystem, and they need to trust this ecosystem to bring solutions. From the other side, the researchers or the innovation managers need to spend time with those corporations to understand them, to understand the fact that they are looking for very short-term impact, which is their raison d'être, and they have to change their mindset to keep this in mind in their in daily work. So, and the connection between the two will be for me the best guarantee for success. And this is the chance we have at the University of Miami Polytechnic. We are very connected to OCP Group. OCP Group is opening its portfolio, its research agenda. And from this research agenda, we are developing new skills for our PhD students, for our students, and for our faculty. And now we want to spread this new mindset in Morocco and outside Morocco.
Thank you. Thank you. It makes a lot of sense. And as you said, and going back to doing a little parallel with what Plug and Play does, you said that corporation need to share their challenges with entrepreneurs and with researchers. Well, what we do at Plug and Play, and it's also a token of, it helps with trusting your entrepreneurs, is that we are in our first phases, we do challenge definition. So what we do is we really try to understand the pain points of the corporations that we work with. And the corporations trust us to be able to find the perfect solutions and the perfect startups that are going to scale in the way that they expect and in the short time that they expect. So thank you for your answer, President. Next question for Yassine. Yassine, so OCP is very involved in promoting entrepreneurship in Morocco and Africa with programs like Act for Community, Impulse, and Le Mouvement, as you mentioned, Hicham, which promotes innovation and a culture of entrepreneurship within organization. How do you envision the partnership with Plug and Play to be different from previous entrepreneurial activities?
Thank you for the question. As I joined, I think, OCP in 2014, I can testify that OCP was one of the first companies in Morocco that promotes entrepreneurship and entrepreneurship inside the company. The Mouvement, as you have mentioned, is a great example of an initiative that liberated the associates' energies. I myself was part of the Mouvement, and even Stargate itself has been developed with the cross-functional team that without the Mouvement wouldn't have been doing it by itself. Now, different startups have emerged from OCP. I would just mention a couple that are known, at least in the Moroccan ecosystem, such as AgriEdge, OMS, and others. And at the same time, the UM6P has been also a great innovator in the sense they launched other programs such as Impulse, U-Founders, BCL, and so much more. And they are here with us in the space and Startgate. So I would say that this partnership with Plug and Play is not really different. It is just a continuation, a natural continuation of UM6P's position in entrepreneurship as a leader institute for research and entrepreneurship. And it will foster, we will take the advantage of my colleagues who have launched different programs before, as well as opening up for the rest of the continent and the rest of Morocco to come join us. And like I said before, and test their innovation at the same time, get the best in class as far as training.
Thank you. Sorry, thank you. Thank you for all that. It was very interesting, Yassine. And as you said, yeah, of course, it's a continuity. And maybe we have big ambitions for UM6P. So this is why we're very excited, I think, to know how we're different. So we know, last question, very last question, then I will leave you gentlemen. Omid, please, we know that Plug and Play has been thinking of expanding to Africa. I think this question will very much interest our audience. We had some questions, very similar ones on the Q&A box.
Holding on to them. Yeah.
So we know that Plug and Play has been thinking of expanding to Africa, notably with activities in South Africa. The partnership between UM6P and Plug and Play marks the beginning of our first official office in Africa. Why do you believe Morocco to be the most interesting place to start?
Of course. So when everything in life, I mean, business, partnerships, marriage, it's a few different elements that come together. You know, you have to find that right person, and some people find that person at a different point in their life than others. And then there's also timing. And I like to think also a big part of how I met my wife was timing. I was in the right place, right time, and we just hit it off and fell in love. And I think a similar love story could be said about the partnership with OCP and UM6P, because the key term in this is not client vendor relationship. This is a partnership. We have to understand each other. We have to have found an alignment of vision to achieve certain KPIs and objectives that align with both our, number one, both our cultures from a corporate to also moral compass standpoint, but also ambitions in terms of where our heads are put towards where we want to be in the next few years. And, you know, in many locations around the world, we were fortunate at different points to find these different partnerships. And today, to say by far, we have found that partnership plug with UM6P and OCP, where their alignment and understanding of our value offerings and our understanding and value of their value offerings is so interlinked that we could not have decided or even evaluated or assessed another partner at this point of time to enter into the African market with. But then if we want to go more into the details of opportunity, what we see in terms of Morocco is a very close link, not specifically culturally, but from a language standpoint to engage, and also from a business standpoint to engage with Africa and Sub-Saharan and North Africa, but also the Middle East, but also with very close ties literally across the pond to Spain, France, Italy. And that market opportunity is how we start moving a mindset of globality towards the local entrepreneurs and how we want to enable them to succeed. And this can also act as a platform for our international entrepreneurs to land into Morocco, to further want to use it as a hub point to expand into the larger African region. And if they're a European startup, they still have that light touch access back to their home geography. So in terms of why Morocco and what made Morocco so great, it could be a mix of a love story and a very pragmatic business decision on both ends that made sense for number one, the entrepreneurs, and number two, for the stakeholders involved from a government and private sector standpoint.
Thank you. I couldn't agree more. So we have a few questions, I believe. Thank you, all three of you, for your time and for taking the time to answer my questions. We do have the time to take a few questions, I think. Just one. So which one are we going to take? Aziz, choose for me. I have my colleague Aziz next to me.
Be easy on us, guys. Be easy on us.
Which one should we choose? We have one question from Lamia Hanafi. How about the importance of bringing international role models to inspire more the community? So I think any of you can answer this question. I'll leave it to you to share the floor.
Could you repeat that? How can we inspire role models?
How about the importance of bringing international role models to Morocco, I think she meant, to inspire more the community, so the UM6P, the Ben Gurir community? For
me, I'll maybe kick it off and then I'll pass it to you, Jones, because it's more of a national-oriented thing. So for me, number one, as you know, our plug and play team on the ground would probably be better suited specifically around what I'm about to say. But in any country that when we do look to build kind of role models, icons that people look up to and aspire to achieve, before looking outwards, we need to look inwards. And Morocco as a major country, and this is where I say maybe others know this better than me, have role models in place, as does every country in the world, that have been successful entrepreneurs. And maybe the narrative of entrepreneurs isn't identical to what the startup innovation culture is today, but the Middle East and North Africa has been built on, our businesses have been built on entrepreneurs. I mean, I'm speaking on my experiences that are more tied with Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Saudi. the marketplace and the opportunities that have been built there that have driven the economy today is built off of generations of entrepreneurs that have brought in international brands, which today us in the startup community say as new technology companies, and develop these new technologies and expand them to empower our fellow nationals in our fellow geography. And once we really look at these icons that we have domestically, and I say this as, for those who don't know, a Bahraini, I look at my local success stories of who I look up to in Bahrain, and then I look outwards to the Steve Jobs and the Bill Gates and the Bezoses of the world. But, and then, of course, when it comes to the international approach, we have 3 internationally recognized names that have come together to build an international platform. When it's building an ecosystem, to a big part of, and to anyone to say it's a challenge is an incorrect word, but to build this kind of growth spurt in terms of global awareness, we need to also, just how we are looking to educate and leverage our infrastructure in Morocco to empower, educate, and develop entrepreneurs locally, we need to use these same resources to educate and empower the international community to know the advanced efforts we as Plug and Play alongside, under OCP and UM6P's guidance are pursuing all together to empower the local ecosystem. And then naturally, organically, will you see an influx of such international kind of mentorship and know-how.
Thank you, Omid. That's a great answer, and I do agree with you 100%. Just addition for UM6P, we in the faculty we have more than 70% from our faculty. They have just come from abroad, and they among those 70%, we have more than 45% of Moroccan diaspora who decided to come back to Morocco, and they can play this role model. So I do agree with Omid, we have to build on what we have internally. It doesn't mean that we should close our borders. We have to be open-minded and invite others, but we have to keep in mind that we can succeed by leveraging what we have right here, right now.
Exactly, thank you. Thank you, President, and thank you, all 3 of you. I believe it's the end of our panel discussion. So I will let you enjoy the rest of our presentation, of our event. So all of us at Plug and Play are very excited to start this program at UM6P as soon as the sanitary restriction allow for it. It is now time for my colleague Aziz to present to our audience 2 Plug and Play success stories. The story of our Abu Dhabi office and our mobility platform in Stuttgart, Germany. Thank you all.
Thank you all. I'll be joining as an attendee now. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Yes, see.
Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Sarina. Hello again, everyone. Plug and Play Abu Dhabi was founded in July 2008 in partnership with Abu Dhabi Global Market with 3 key purposes. Number 1, create an open and accessible marketplace for B2B local and international startups. Number 2, deliver value to large private and public sector organizations through technology collaborations with startups. And finally, generate sufficient value for startups to establish an office in the free zone of Abu Dhabi Global Market. So critical for this mission was the formation of valuable partnerships with key and private public sectors, entities from vertical to form vertical focused open innovation platforms and no equity accelerator programs. The first vertical was fintech. We engaged with multiple stakeholders and helped them identify focus areas that they were willing to develop through a structured process and innovation audits, design sprints, and workshops. After working closely with key ecosystem players, we identified several focus areas for which we sourced the most relevant and innovative startups from all over the world. From a fintech program, Plug and Play grew organically into 2 more verticals, travel hospitality and health technologies, due to the synergies that were observed between those 2 sectors. During our first fintech batch, we quickly realized that several startups that were selected to explore opportunities with financial institutions had also relevant use cases for travel hospitality companies such as Etihad Airways. In 2019, these synergies led to the creation of a travel vertical in partnership with Etihad, Miral, and Admin. Following a similar model, by the end of 2019, we opened a health tech hub in partnership with the Department of Health in Abu Dhabi. Today, we have a network of over 20 partners fulfilling two goals: supporting Abu Dhabi corporates and governments entities in their innovation journey, and second, creating sufficient value for leading tech startups for them to establish a presence in Abu Dhabi, thus creating jobs and importing great talent to the Emirates. With the COVID-19 outbreak, we decided with the Department of Health to create the Alliance to Fight COVID-19. With a clear set of goals, the Alliance has been formed with the common vision of its members that startups have a key and major role to play in order to provide immediate relief to healthcare professionals and regulators in the efforts to fight this pandemic. The program was a success. We sourced over 120 startups, screened over 60, and selected 8. Since May 2020, 3 commercial agreements were signed with the members of the Alliance, and then the startup sorts were catering to chronic disease management, telehealth, and diagnostics. One of the success stories of the Alliance is with Etihad, implemented 2 startups technologies in order to first map COVID-19 information using advanced computer algorithms, and second, assess passengers' potential infections using artificial intelligence. Overall, in 2 years, we were able to accelerate over 45 startups in Abu Dhabi. 90% of these startups were able to sign agreements during the program, 60% establish an office in UAE, and 40% in Abu Dhabi global market. Now, let's go all the way to Germany to visit what was my personal favorite plug-and-play program until now, Startup Autobahn in Stuttgart. We built Startup Autobahn in Stuttgart in partnership with Daimler and University of Stuttgart to unite global tech startups with the unrivaled tech expertise of Silicon Valley and with German engineering's finest. Focus areas include connected vehicles, electrification, shared mobility, autonomous driving, amongst others. The platform now counts more than 25 corporate partners such as Porsche, Bosch, Rolls-Royce, Hyundai, and many others. Let's take a peek at what an Expo Day in Startup Autobahn looks like.
Innovation, innovation, innovation. And that's why we are here at Startup. We are new partners, and we want to bring startups together with us to the market. So we want to scale things, want to make things happen, want to bring technology invented for life to the people. We at Startup Autobahn are focused on successful POCs and implementations.
I think it's important that we have all kinds of collaboration and partnerships and new ideas. This is something that helps us to invent us in a new way.
We do need to collaborate with startups and open innovation platforms in order to bring solutions to market fairly quickly, which have an impact on people and the planet.
We have a great team of researchers around the globe. 18,000 people are employed at Mercedes-Benz R&D across the globe. That's a strong team, and we want to complement this strong team with the energy of startups.
Startup Autobahn is really a great format for us to get our people in touch with multiple startups from all over the world. And this joint approach of collaborating really attracts the best startups from all over the world to come to Stuttgart and also provides our business units a great platform to work together with them.
The collaboration with the corporate partners in the Startup Autobahn program was a great experience for us. We have seen a very hands-on mentality, a great speed, and a huge level of trust.
This pilot project was amazing for us because we were able to develop our technology in collaboration with a pioneer in the marketplace.
What we did was that we put our autonomous wheels on a cart and moved that in a shop floor from A to B. So basically it's about optimizing a manual process in their factory environment.
Utopia and these systems have been working on a project which was presented here live to remotely control a car in Tel Aviv from Stuttgart, which is 4,000 kilometers away, and we did it only with public LTE networks.
So the project we did with Startup Autobahn is we partnered with one of the key partners and actually made the world's first car part made from CO2.
It has been really amazing. We actually signed 3 pilot projects with 3 different partners, and they have been really open-minded in finding use cases together with us, helping us accelerate as a small startup from Norway.
We can build this ecosystem
to make the digital transformation and possibly even sustainability more faster, better, and cheaper. And that is what is been able to achieve here with Startup Autobahn and Plug and Play.
Today we see amazing examples of startups and innovations, and I'm sure together we will shape the future of sustainable mobility.
Thank you all for your attention. We are proud and excited to be part of the Moroccan innovation journey. We want to see this ecosystem blossom to the full extent of its potential by sharing knowledge and expertise. In that frame of mind, Plug and Play Morocco is organizing a series of innovation sessions around 6 different topics. Each session will be led by an industry expert and startup mentor who will give a keynote followed by pitches from startups offering solutions in those areas. 4 of the webinars will be held in French, the others in English. These sessions will be the perfect venue to learn more about corporate innovation and discuss with experts in each of these fields. Following this event, an email will be sent to each of you with registration links for our upcoming innovation sessions. It is now time to conclude our launch event. We want to thank our partners, UM6P and OCP, and especially our panelists Hisham Al-Habti, Yassine Rahmi, and Omid Mahrinfar. Startups, if you are wondering how to be part of the Plug and Play family, I have good news for you. Applications are now open on our website. You have the QR code to access it directly, or go to www.plugandplaytechcenter.com/Morocco. Ecosystem players, whether you are a corporate, an accelerator, a VC, or a mentor, reach out to us. We'd like to chat. On behalf of the Plug and Play Morocco team, thank you. It has truly been a blast. This is only the beginning of a long and exciting journey.